You think about school, we've been programmed in a way to be really good employees. Hey, my name is Belinda Carusi and welcome to my show. This podcast was born through my obsession of business, personal development, and my deep desire to living an extraordinary life. I am a small town mama who took used car tires to start my first outdoor boot camp and grew it into a multiple six-figure fitness empire. And now I work from home, helping business owners create the business of their dreams. I will take you on an adventure that will open your mind and your heart and truly help you believe in yourself to just do the thing you were born to do. Like I would say in my boot camps, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Welcome to the Belinda Carusi Show. Hello, my gorgeous friends. I am so goddamn excited that you are here, that you are tuning into another episode. This episode I am super excited about because really it is the reason why I was able to build a $500,000 business within my first couple of years in business. And I would say that a lot of it was to do, majority, with my mindset and how I brainwashed myself into being a successful, abundant, rich woman without the results at that point. When I was 21, my life started changing. I remember it all started being a personal trainer, meeting different clients, being in the field, doing the work. And I would say that the fitness industry is quite entrepreneurial. Like, you need to be able to sell yourself. You need to be able to have a level of mindset to be successful, to help people move their body, to be motivating, to be energizing so that people want to see you. And obviously, as my job of doing this, I was starting to get really inspired. Like, how do I help more people? How do I get better results for people? How do I get better results for myself? How do I make more money and not have to work as much? All of these questions started going through my head, and I started meeting incredible people along the way, like I've said in my first podcast. But I think what really happened first for me was understanding that everything that I'd ever been taught wasn't necessarily true. I remember I had a pull check. So my mentor from the gym was a pull check trainer, and he was incredible. He questioned the norms. I mean, this guy gave me a book called, I think it was Move, Think and Be Healthy or something like that. And he talked about the pharmaceutical industry. He talked about the food pyramid. And, I had just finished school and we were taught that you should eat carbs. It's the most thing that you should eat. And that fats and oils and olive oil was like the worst thing that you could eat. And just the whole food pyramid was like huge. I was like, well, why are they teaching us this? Why is the world teaching us all of these things that necessarily isn't true? Oh my gosh, like the government, what? Are they lying to us? And it kind of opened up a whole can of worms for me, and it made me really think, holy shit, like everything we've been taught isn't necessarily true. So I think that's what really kind of cracked me open to really be open to new possibilities, new ways of thinking. And then I had a boyfriend and he was studying entrepreneurship at university. Always laugh about that one. And I guess it was good because he taught me that all you need to do is start solving problems. Like, that's entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur and being a successful business owner is all about being able to solve someone's problem. And going, okay, well, if someone's over here and they have a problem with X, Y, and Z, how do we fix it? So as a personal trainer, learning about health and about the medical system and about, when you go to the doctors, it's like if you've got a throat infection, instead of just giving you antibiotics, like obviously if you've got a really bad throat infection, antibiotics are an absolute blessing. So you may need to take them, but the doctor just gives you that script, gets rid of the throat infection, and then you get it again. Looking at the symptoms and not the problem. Like, why are you getting sick? And because you're booked into a 15-minute slot or even a smaller slot, they don't really have the time to thoroughly investigate. And they're general practitioners. So they're like, all right, cool, that's that. You go do that. They might not be looking at your gut health and why you keep getting sick. Maybe it's because your gut isn't working, which is lowering your immune system, which then makes you disposed or whatever. How do I say it? Predisposed, I think that's how you say it, to being sick. They never go deeper. So when I started kind of understanding that, I was like, wow, like my job now is to try and help my clients get healthy by eating healthy food, building up their immune system, teaching them how to exercise, teaching them how to stretch their body, relaxation, so that they don't get sick and they don't get these problems. They are healthier beings. And I think that's kind of where the entrepreneurial spirit started. Like, how can I solve these problems, right? How do I solve them? And, I think about the school system, and obviously I'm not discrediting lots of doctors. Like, doctors are incredible people, but they're also incredible people at following the rules and figuring out what this symptom means. Is that means X, Y, and Z, treat that system, right? And then if you think about the school system's designed for you to literally learn the curriculum and then recite the curriculum, and you get a grade for how well you can remember something, right? So, and if you think about it, most of us in business and in life aren't taught how to ask questions, how to use our own common sense to then solve problems for ourselves, which is why I believe our society is sometimes getting worse, because a lot of the time we're going to experts to solve our own problems. But if you think about it, you're the only person that can solve your problems. But if you think about it again, it's the way that we've been brought up by our culture. Go to school, learn the curriculum, recite the curriculum, then go to school again, do the same thing, then go to university, pick something that you like, get good grades, then go and then do that job outside. And really that's the mindset of an employee. And we are, if you think about school, we've been programmed in a way to be really good employees. So, and if you think about it, all the people that were a bit naughty at school, the ones that didn't necessarily gel with school, generally be the most successful as adults, because they're like, well, I don't know why I'm learning this. Like, why am I learning algebra? Like, why am I actually learning algebra? Like, what is that going to do to benefit me and my future? Like, why? And this is why a lot of kids would never sit down in class, because it was so fucking boring. Like, really? Like, am I really learning this? Like, why do I need to learn math extension? Like, unless I want to be a freaking brain surgeon or a engineer, like, why am I doing it? And I think that, it's really important to kind of feel that and see that, and the way that we've kind of been conditioned to believe and think. Coming into that, I had to brainwash myself out of this. These are the rules and you need to abide them to be successful. Why do you think so many businesses struggle? Because they don't truly believe and feel and think as an entrepreneur, as a problem solver. You, as a business owner, an entrepreneur, you have created a business to solve someone's problem. If there is no fish and chip shop in your town and people like fish and chips, you provide a fish and chip shop to solve the person's problem. When I started thinking about what I wanted to create, I thought about the fact that I was a personal trainer, and I started seeing that a lot of girls used to join up to the gym, not know what they were doing. They'd have to pay someone like me $50 to $60 an hour, or more, $100 an hour. And because they could only afford maybe 2 hours a week, or not even, maybe 1 hour a week, they wouldn't come to the gym any other days. So of course they weren't getting results. So when I went to my first lot of seminars, understanding what it took to be successful and learning from these like successful entrepreneurs that were making more money every single day and working less, I was like, well, how do I do that? Like, what do I do? Like, I have to learn. And now we're talking about reprogramming our mind, setting our mind up for success. So what I'm going to do in this session today is I'm going to talk to you about the 6 things you need to really change in your mindset to get the results that you want in your life and to be able to have a business or turn your business around if it's not as profitable as you would like. So I'll tell you the 6 things I'm going to go through today and understand how you can do this, and you just have to change your mindset and the way that you think about money. And this episode has really come today from my understanding of how dysfunctional people's relationship with money is and success and fear is. And if it wasn't for understanding these components that I'm going to go through today, which is like business is simple, outcomes over effort, so basically working smarter, not harder, operating from an abundance mindset always, focusing on making money will make you broke, problems are blessings, and failure is an opinion. So I'm going to be going through those things because for you to really have the life that you've always wanted and start a business that is going to free you financially and free your life, you've got to really understand that business is actually very simple. When I understood that all I needed to do was solve problems, I was like, holy shit. And the more problems that you can solve and the greater problems you can solve, the more money you can make. So when I was a personal trainer, I had 2 problems. Problem number 1, my clients weren't getting results, great enough results, because they had to pay for their gym membership, then their personal training. And then also the problem was they didn't feel comfortable in the gym and it wasn't motivating enough for them, right? So that was the biggest problem. The second problem was, as I was starting to learn about time is money, and that I needed to figure out a way on how I could make more money per hour. Otherwise, if I stayed as a one-on-one PT, my income would have been capped. I may have been able to put my prices up, which I would have, but again, it would have been capped at a certain income per year because there's only a certain amount of hours in the day. So when I started realizing that, I was like, holy shit, my income's capped and my clients aren't getting the great results. Like, what can I do? So I realized the biggest problem I needed to solve was, how do I earn more per hour and help my clients get better results? I was like, oh my gosh, it's genius. I'll do 12-week challenges, 8-week challenges where I put people through a transformation program. I systemize it because I used to work at Macca's and it was the best job ever. I'll put together a transformation system where I take a client from point A to point B and help them transform their body and help it be more accessible. They may pay me more than what they're paying now, but they get unlimited access to me. They get, if I have 6 boot camps a week, they can turn up to 6 boot camps a week for a fraction of the cost of them doing one-on-one with me once a week, or the same price. Like, it's a no-brainer. And I was like, and then I can get as many people as I can into the boot camp. So I would earn 3 times the amount and be solving the people's problems and mine. And then if I got this system going, I could then duplicate it, which means I can basically make I can teach someone how to be like me and run a boot camp somewhere else. And then I can make even more money and I can help even more people get results. Like, it was a win-win. It was so awesome. So if you're thinking, okay, I really have an idea, like I really want to start my business, I really want to start a business one day, what you need to think about is, how do I solve a problem? What is the problem that I can solve for somebody else? It could be in forms of a product. It could be a service. It could be a program that you put together. It could be literally, if you are an organized mother, I've talked about this before, and you've got these epic meal prep systems, you can literally teach other mothers how to prep their kids' lunches. So it's like fucking a no-brainer, and they could literally buy your program, and then you could be making money. You do work once and you could be making money all the time, by just marketing yourself and telling other moms that you got the best solution ever about meal prep and kids' lunches. And nearly every single mom would be like, fuck yes, I'm joining. So that's the first thing. Business is simple. All you need to remember is you have to be the best at solving problems. Literally, every problem is a blessing, because I remember when we ever had problems in the gym, any client feedback, I was like, great. Tell me what it is. Tell me exactly what the problem is. I will fix it. Perfect. You've just made my business so much better. It's always the problem clients that would always improve my business, and I loved it. So the second thing, right? Outcomes over efforts. This one was huge. When I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it all kind of clicked in. So if you haven't read or listened to that book, it's by Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about his rich dad and his poor dad. His actual dad was a teacher working maybe 50 hours a week, and he went through the school system, went to university, did the right thing, got a job, got a mortgage, and never really grew above that mortgage, right? Then he talked about his friend's dad, which was an investor. I think he was a car wash guy, saved up his money, invested his money. From the money that he invested, that he made, he then reinvested. So he was using his money to build his wealth. And eventually the rich dad, which was basically an uneducated man, ended up making way more money than the educated, following the rules dad. And it's a really interesting book. And I want to kind of bring this up because we are taught to work hard and then you'll get a good result. Like if you work really hard, you'll make lots of money. Or if you work really hard, you'll get a pay rise. Or if you work really hard, you'll get this. One of the things that I have learned is that the less you work, the more money you actually can make, because as a business owner, you've got to remember that it's really important that you actually end up being in your genius zone. So if I'm really good at, helping people in their business and doing all these incredible things, helping them get the best out of themselves, brainstorming, working through people's limiting beliefs, but I'm spending all my time building websites, doing, all the nitty gritties, editing my episodes, doing all of those things, I'm not spending the time on the things that I should be doing, which is ultimately building my business and doing the thing that I'm good at. So what I found when I had my gym was I outsourced all the things I was shit at, which was admin, emails, social media. And what I ended up doing was I was really good at the strategy and building, like, how can I solve these people's problems? How can I make the program better? How can I do all these things? How can I bring more clients in? How can I build more community? That was my genius. How can I bring more energy to the classes? How can I make some more classes? So I spent more time on that. And if I tried to do everything, I would have a very small business and I would have never made the money that we made. I was living in Queensland, making multiple six figures, and like all I had to do was sit in my genius zone and make sure that all the systems were being followed. So I really want you to feel into that you don't have to be anybody, or you just have to be you, and you need to make sure that you're in your genius zone more. You're getting better outcomes. You're not working way more. Like, it's not about as much effort. Like, you can put in a lot. You're going to have to put in effort at the start to get it off the ground. But then after that, you want to systemize everything that you've done and just keep duplicating it, and then teaching other people how to do the things you've done so you can keep growing the business. It's not about working. That's the biggest mistake that I think a lot of people make. Another thing you want to be focusing on is not focusing on is money. Like, I need this money now. Like, I need this money. It's all about the money. I know for myself that, yes, I did the calculations and I knew that money was going to be super good if I chose the one-to-many outcome. But what I really thought about more was how I could support my clients to get from where they are to where they want to be. And I focused on how many people I could help. And when I focused on more people that I could help, it took me away from that scarcity mindset of, oh my gosh, I need 10 clients, otherwise I'm going to die. Like, instead I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to help 10 clients. Like, imagine if I could have 10 clients joining my bootcamp. Like, how incredible would that be? They would feel more confident. They would feel better. So instead of me worrying about, okay, I need to make $30,000 this month, otherwise I can't pay my bills, it was, oh my gosh, I can't wait to sign up 100 people. Like, imagine the gym with 100 clients booming and buzzing. Like, the more you can think about how many people you can serve, you're not going to be as scarce when it comes to outreaching to your clients, speaking to your clients. So that's the big thing. I think just really focusing on the problem you're solving for people and how many people you want to help. It will stop you from feeling like rejected when people say no, because you're like, well, I'm actually just doing this because I want to help you. And I'm actually doing this to help you really live your best life. So, you know, it's just like not focusing on that money and just focus on what you want to do in the world. It's such a different vibe. And obviously you want an outcome, like you want to make more money, you want to have all these things, but focus on how many, if you were to help more people, how many more people would benefit from you, right? Yeah. So like, if you think about it, right, if you're worrying about the money constantly, you're going to be broke, because if I didn't invest like thousands of dollars in my own personal development and understanding how to do things and how to really think, and if I focused on, oh my gosh, I haven't got a return on my investment yet, I can't do this anymore, I would have literally just stayed broke. I wouldn't have kept investing, and I wouldn't have kept developing the business if I had thought, oh my gosh, I can't spend $1,000 this month on Facebook ads because what if I don't make it back? It was like, well, no, if I don't spend $1,000 on Facebook ads, I actually won't get the clients that will be able to pay us. So instead of me worrying about outlaying money, I was like, well, I was worrying, if I don't outlay money, where will I be? So it was just an energy exchange. I think if you're holding on to your money so hard and you're never releasing it, you're never able to really see the benefit of the money that you have work for you. So it's really important that you start investing in yourself and your business, right? Turning your blessings, so your problems into blessings, like literally every problem that I've had. And I just wrote my old clients an email. I'd been holding on to all the grief and the suffering and the disbelief that my business wasn't my business anymore. And I thought, nah, fuck this. I'm going to send them an email, thank them for being clients, and release it. But I was expressing all the problems that we had at the time of the selling of the business. And I can do a whole other episode of that, and how every problem took me into a better solution. So for example, COVID happened. I had my manager, my PT manager quit. Then I had a new one start. Then COVID happened. So all of the problems with my staff went away because there was no, and I just had to kind of sort out my own stuff, and I had to sort out the gym, and that was perfect. So the problem actually ended up being the solution. It gave me some time to work out what I needed for the business going forward. And then another problem was we had to re-sign our lease with a permit that was, I needed to reassess. And then at the same time, I had a 10-day-old a 3-month-old baby. And I was wondering how I was going to constantly be traveling from Melbourne to Queensland and Queensland to Melbourne. So I thought, fuck it. I've got to figure out a way that I either sell this business or I get a business partner in to support me, because the way like this isn't going to work like right now, especially with young children and the way that the world is. And that problem then started making me think about different solutions. Okay, well, maybe if I sell the entire business, what if that's the thing I need to be doing? Or what if I move the business into a different business and ask if I can split share? Or what if I get a business partner? Or what if all these things, and all these different solutions to a different problem came from the problem itself. And then from that, I ended up selling the business, which was a blessing, even though it was a problem because our income would stop from the business for myself. But it opened up another opportunity for me to be a mother with my children that I always yearned for without the stress of a business. And then I also had the solution of not having a fitness business in the middle of COVID. Like, that was a bloody blessing in disguise. So every problem can take you to a better place. And I think the thing is people are so scared of having problems, and a lot of the time they're so scared of having problems they don't know how to do things or whatnot, or things going wrong. But if you don't actually have things going wrong, then you're not going to learn. For example, this podcast, I've had so many issues recording and editing these podcasts, but these problems have actually made me a better podcaster. It's made me a way better at doing this. I feel like I've done a crash course by just implementing and trying to do the work. And this week, I think I'm actually going to get my podcast episode out on a Friday instead of a Sunday. So I'm really excited about that. So whenever a problem comes, think of it as a blessing and a way that you can transform your life 100%. And then the last one is failure is an opinion. So I want you to feel into the fact that failure really is only an opinion, that you actually don't need to worry about it. And I remember this is like the biggest time, like I read the books about failure and how you can learn from it, and there's no such thing as failure. It's just there for our growth. And I remember reading that and starting my first ever boot camp. This is when I started my boot camp on the side while I was working at the gym. And I was like, I remember getting to my like third or fourth week in my 12-week challenge that I had done at the local footy club. And I got my people that were doing the challenge to pay for the 12-week challenge. You just pay as you go. Pay cash as you go. Well, that worked out really well, didn't it? My failure to put a system together for payments meant that my clients never turned up towards the end. So I'd go to my sessions, have all my car packed of all the equipment, and no one turned up. It was goddamn annoying. It was very, very annoying, to be frank. So what I ended up doing was I was like, okay, this boot camp completely failed, but if failure is just an opinion, what am I going to do about it? So what I ended up doing was I was like, okay, if failure is just an opinion and I have to learn from my failures, what do I need to do? Next boot camp, I need to get people to pay in full, or they're on a direct debit so that money is holding them to their sessions. Because if they didn't pay for their sessions up front, they're not going to be committed because people don't want to waste money, right? So I was like, sweet. So from that point onwards, I made them pay in full or pay per week with a direct debit, and guess what? My business took off. And it was only because I learned from my failure. So it's so important to do so. It's so, so important to do this and to remember that every failure is getting you closer to a success. And that if you look at it like that and you assess the way that you were or the way that you showed up, everything will work out in your favor. So in saying all of this, I hope this has helped, and I hope you feel inspired to really just go for it, and to really just remember that, like, for you to succeed, you need to make sure that you're not taking life too seriously, that you're thinking differently, and that you really, really, really want to change. And being normal isn't always the greatest thing. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this, and let me know how this resonates. I'd love to know. So comment in the section that you can comment in, and I will speak to you very soon. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. After selling my previous brand, I've decided I'm starting again from scratch. Do you want to come behind the scenes and watch me build my new 7-figure spiritual brand from the ground up? Now, this is going to be my most ridiculous offer ever. I'll coach you every single day for 21 days for free. Yes, crazy, I know. See, my passion is to see you live a life of fullness, the life your soul is yearning for you to be living. These 21 days are designed to light your soul on fire. If you're anything like me, life has not always been rainbows and unicorns. And because of that, your fire, your internal flame, has either been dimmed or completely put out. Mine was too. It's taken me 3 grueling years to relight my flame, my internal fire, and put together this program. The program is called Ignite, to do just this: reignite your flame. so that you can do the work you have been put on this earth to do. Over the next 21 days, I will take you through the exact steps I am taking and have taken to create my soul on fire business. And I will take you through the exact steps so that you can do the same thing. Whether you have an existing business or you have an idea of just starting out, this program will be the best thing you have ever done. You'll get daily trainings, a course curriculum delivered by video, audio, and worksheets, behind the scenes, templates, long-lasting, lifetime access to all the training materials. What if your life could change? What if everything could change in just 21 days? I'm starting from scratch, and here's the exact 21 steps I would take if I had $0, zero brand, zero team, and absolutely no clue on what to sell. Small or big or new or experienced, niche or satisfied, these 21 steps will work in any soul-led business. See, I've been in business now since the age of 21. It's been over a decade, and these are all the things I wish I would have done or I did do in my business to start it out to build a 7-figure business. Now, what I'm going to be doing for you is taking you through the most juicy, igniting, fun 21 days to ensure that you finish with clarity, fire in your belly, and drive that is going to keep you going through good, bad, and the ugly in your business. So if you are interested in the Ignite 21-day program, it is starting only in a week or so. So please register by finding me on Instagram, Belinda_Carusi, and I will put you on the list and send you through all the information that you need to ignite that flame, that fire, that your soul is yearning for you to be lit, because you are here to do the special work that God has given you. So I look forward to seeing you in this program. I cannot wait. Love you, and I will see you there. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Belinda Carusi Show. If you love this episode as much as I did, head over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week on Fridays. I can't wait to hang out with you again.